RH, quer saber como voar no trabalho? É só usar a Flash. Com a Flash, você concentra toda a gestão de pessoas em um único lugar. Faça a admissão dos colaboradores e solicite mais de 8 categorias de benefícios. Ah, e você ainda pode fazer todo o controle de ponto. Conheça o novo onboarding integrado da Flash em flashapp.com.br.
Olha o contra-ataque aí, vem que vem o time avançando rápido pela linha de campo. Bola dominada no pé do camisa 10. Ele vai pra cima, passou pelo primeiro, passou pelo segundo. Invadiu a grande área, vai chutar. Bateu, é gol! Que golaço, minha gente!
A experiência de futebol mais autêntica já criada pros games. Junte-se no 5x5 Rush, a nova maneira de jogar com os amigos e leve seu clube pra vitória. EA Sports FC 25. Dê tudo pelo clube. Já disponível.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year?
Yeah.
Happy motherfucking New Year 2020. Holy tits. That's insane.
I know.
2020?
It's weird.
So we're in a new
decade.
Oh, I was like, first of all,
that's how we say it in my country.
Decade.
American.
For sure. I'm Canadian. I wouldn't know that. I just wish I was Canadian. Wow, we're in a new decade.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we were in a new decade was No, this is the first time we've been in. No,
we've had 2010 was not the millennium. 2000 was the millennium.
2010 was the last decade. I was a junior in high school, getting drunk on hills.
I was
doing body shots.
I had just graduated from college.
So we were doing the same thing.
We were doing the same thing.
Just at different ages. Mm-hmm. Wow. And look at us now.
Thriving.
Thriving with the podcast.
Yeah.
Eating, snacking. Well, guys, welcome back to the podcast. 2020 is going to be a great year for our podcast.
Mm-hmm. We're in season 5 now. Can you believe that?
Holy shit. Well, guys, this is Don't Blame Me. It's an advice podcast. Let me get the phone number out of the way. If you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And if you're an international listener, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And I guess that's enough blubbering. Flubber. Great movie. I used to be scared of Flubber a little bit when I was a kid.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
I was scared of a lot of weird shit
because
it's
just like something jiggly that comes to life and moves
and it was
around
like neon
and you can't
green.
stop it. And it like if it breaks apart, it just multiplies. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Reminds me of Contagion, which was an underrated bad movie.
I feel like you've talked about this before.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person who's ever seen that movie.
Yeah, I think so too.
I brought it up to like a bunch of people and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking
Gwyneth
about.
Paltrow's in it.
Just like I know how diseases work.
No, but it's interesting. It's like a Steal the Money movie, but about disease.
I'm good.
I love Steal the Money movies.
I do too.
Monts doesn't understand. He tried to put on a heist movie and he goes, it's a Steal the Money movie. I go, I get how you could think that a heist movie would be a Steal the Money movie, but a Steal the Money movie means I am rooting for the people stealing the money and they're kind of Robin Hooding it and it's for like the greater good.
No, Steal the Money movies are heist movies, but not all heist movies are Steal the Money movies.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all heist movies are. Yeah. So then he just puts on movies where like people rob banks and I'm like, not the same, bud. Not the fucking same. I just want all of the oceans. And Catch Me If You Can. Oh, I love Steal the Money movies. So good. Should we get into the calls?
Let's do it.
I wonder if any of you are stealing the money. Hey, Megan, I need a question about robbing a bank.
So I was recently put in a sticky situation where my ex, who I broke up with around 7 months ago, emailed me over 1,000 words about all that's happened in his life. And it was just this huge life update about him and his friends and family. It's clear that he really wants to stay informed on each other's lives. but I've made it clear to him that I'm not interested in sharing our lives for the time being because we aren't together anymore. And it's pretty obvious that his moving on process has been slower than mine. And I feel like any way I respond will have repercussions because not responding would be cruel. I've been short and brief in the past, and that clearly hasn't worked because now I'm left with a 1,000-word email in my inbox. And I guess telling him straight up that I just don't want to communicate right now seems very abrasive, and I guess I'm just afraid of hurting him more than I already have. Please help.
What a fucking weenie. I also, like, my mind immediately went to, like, that this wasn't, obviously this was a personal letter that as you continued on, but in my mind I was like, does he just like send these updates
or it's
to
like
people?
You know, like during Christmas time when people send their family updates?
Yeah. Like Megan's retaking stats again. I don't know, actually, maybe
what year was
think
that?
Geometry? No,
it's
what
like,
did I take twice?
You took, statistics is like more of a
no, I had mono, so I didn't take that one twice.
But I was gonna say that's more of that's not like a required class.
Oh, you're right. That's was when we got into the era of calculus, and I was like, I'm a opt out of that one.
And I was like, I don't see you just taking a cool math. No. I wouldn't even say cool math class.
It was high school too.
I know.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't take math in college.
You probably took geometry and algebra. And
I might have had to retake. Maybe I took algebra maybe I didn't. Maybe I took algebra 1 and 2 instead of doing algebra 1, 3, where people can like skip ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something like that. Okay. You definitely called into a podcast of two girls who ghost. But I think like the thing is this is obviously a different circumstance and situation, but I think the same advice applies with like exes and people trying to reach out, that like any response he's going to see that as a positive. Like, I think like no matter what you say, if you acknowledge him, like that's the reason why he's sending you this letter is because, and I'm not like faulting you and saying that like, oh, you did this to yourself, but like those short responses, like he's holding on to that. And that's why he's literally at this point sending you 1,000-word long letter. He's not going to come to he's not going to back away and stop on his own. You have to be the one to stop it. If he was going to stop it, he would have already stopped it.
Yeah. Like when Megan reached out to her ex that's grandmother died, and then he responded back, why are you messaging me? So that's maybe what you should just say. Why are you messaging me?
I just think I think you've been a little too nice at this point, and like it's not, when we break up with somebody or we end a relationship, like it's there is no saving face. Like it's not about like, oh, I don't want to be I get like, oh, you don't want to be like unnecessarily rude, but like at this point, like you're going so above and beyond with a normal breakup that I think like it's just not helping him at all. And I think just not responding. And I also think that the benefit of not responding is like he can come up with whatever excuse he wants to in his head. If you respond and like, hey, I get how you think that might come across as harsh, but if you don't respond, he can be like, oh, you know what? I just lost your email or whatever, but like he'll eventually, I think, will drop it more and he won't just hold on to like whatever you say in a way.
Yeah, but then he might keep contacting her.
I would say
put it in spam.
Yeah.
Just mark it as spam. And so anytime he sends you anything, it goes to spam.
And also when you said like your getting over process just seems to be different, he's not getting over you and that's you are getting over him. So aiding him in what you think is his getting over process isn't helping him. I think like if you can just cut it off and then stop responding, like it's the same advice we give people who try to get over someone, where like stop being in contact with them. He's essentially on that side of it. And this isn't anything that he's doing that he even might say like, oh, this contact's really helping me move on. It's not. And I would just like know that even if he doesn't realize that now, you do. And then just, it's not, you're not being a dick and ghosting. And also I wouldn't even necessarily call this ghosting at this point, because like you've already responded enough times that I think at this point now it's just like, okay, cool. I've responded enough. I didn't like completely like shut it down immediately. And then it's been, like you said, short kind of curt responses. And then now there's nothing else. And that's it. And like that needs to be fine for him. And then you can like actually move on with your life.
Agree.
That's 1,000 words. Also, did you count, or did you put it into pages or words and then count it that way?
You just guesstimate.
Yeah.
You're like, this looks about like 2 paragraphs, because a paragraph's about 500, right?
Well, paragraph can be anything more than 3 sentences.
I'm sorry.
Page?
A page is about 500.
Well, best of luck. I have high hopes for you and your ghosting. Welcome to the ghosting club. Boo, bitch. Boo.
Boo.
Boo. Well, like a sweet boo of ours. Boo.
Hey, boo.
Hey, boo. Poof, and we're gone.
Hi, Megan and Melissa and guest. I am 26 years old, and I've been with my boyfriend for a little over a year. We live together. We have a great relationship, love him to death, and I naturally don't have a lot of friends. I maybe only talk to about 2 really close friends. I have lots of acquaintances that I hang out with at work. But outside of work, I don't really see very many people. But he has a huge friend group of people. He has a lot of people that he grew up with, that he went to high school with, that he still sees all the time. One of them actually lives next door to us. And they all have girlfriends who I really love hanging out when we're all together. I find a lot of them really great, really awesome people to talk to. And recently, I've been wondering if I should reach out to those people, those girls, to maybe start hanging out with them one-on-one, building more of a relationship with them. But then I also have this feeling in the back of my mind, like if I do that, I'm like encroaching on his territory in a way. Like, because he was friends with all these people before I met him, is it like okay for me to start reaching out to them and hang out with them like alone? Like recently, one of his couple friends, they celebrated an anniversary, and I texted the one girl to, wish her a happy anniversary. And then I kind of felt weird afterwards, like, oh, maybe I should have said like, my boyfriend and I wish you a happy anniversary or something else, because it almost felt like I was, again, like encroaching on his friend group. And I just don't want to come off as like clingy or awkward or weird for like wanting to be personal friends with his friends that he's already like established as friends. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but I just want to know if it's is it a little clingy for me to not be trying to find my own friends, but trying to be more friends with his? Or is it okay? And also, how do I do that? Because I'm really bad at making friends with people. And I'm just curious if there's any tips you can give me on ways I can like figure out how to do all this. I don't know. I'm just overall a bit confused. Anyway, have a great day. Thank you.
I don't think that's weird at all. You do?
I don't think it's weird, but
wow, because this is me. I literally will message.
But you've been in a relationship for 4 years. My thing is, she's like in a relationship. They live together too. But if this is somebody that you think you're going to be with for a long time, then yeah, go for it. But if this isn't somebody that you don't think like you're going to be with them for a long time, then it can be weird if you guys break up.
Yeah, because there's like the dividing of the friendship thing. I would like to say that this weekend I found out that I am on the close friends list on Instagram of one of Monts' girlfriends.
Doesn't it always feel good when you are looking and then you see that green circle and you're like,
I'm not gonna lie,
I didn't even think I was there, but
I'm
here
on a lot of close friends lists. I was just like, I just immediately, and then Monts had to look to see if he was, and he also was, and I wanted to be like, yo, can you just take him off and keep me on so I can feel special? But I totally understand this. I really get this. I also have a lot of, again, Monts has a huge friend group in this similar way. And I would say out of that friend group, LA wise, I'm kind of the only girlfriend who really has like her own set of friends. And all of the girlfriends are all like friends with each other. Like there have been girlfriends.
Were they friends before?
No, there's girlfriends who their boyfriends have since broke up and they're still friends. Like, got it. So I think the thing is you just have to have that conversation with your boyfriend first of being like, hey, like, and I wouldn't bring it up in like a clingy way because I think like, I don't want to like therapize you or whatever, but like, it's definitely not clingy. I think like if you're feeling that's clingy, I think you might be like, I don't want to say that like maybe I think you're feeling, that's not a feeling that this should give you. I think that's a feeling that you might be getting from somewhere else or you've had before and you're like worried about. I wouldn't even bring that up in the situation because I don't think it's clingy at all. But I would ask him, be like, hey, like, would it be weird for you? Or is like, would it be okay if I like asked so-and-so if they like wanted to like go get drinks or like go to a workout class or go hang out? And if he's like, yeah, for sure. Or if he's like, oh, it's a little weird. I mean, if he says it's a little weird, I would be like, why is it weird? Because I don't think it is at all. Like Monts is fucking stoked that like I get along well with the girl. Like it's literally like the guys will just like sit. It's like we're on a play date and they'll be like, oh, look at them getting along. I love this. Like that's so fun. I think he should be just as excited. And that's like where my advice was the whole time until you got to the end part where you're like, should I be making my own friends and not just his? I would say make your own friends too, because I think this is like, you said that you have a hard time making friends and you feel kind of awkward, which I also really understand. I think this is a really easy way in, but also it's not whatever. This isn't really going to teach you how to make friends as an adult. Like you kind of are getting like the training wheels on for this and it's pretty easy. And if something like God forbid happened with you and your boyfriend and like things didn't go well, then let's say that happens in 3 years, then you're like into your like mid 20s and you don't know how to make adult friends.
Also, you might lose everyone because they might feel a loyalty to him because they knew him first. And then you're left with no boyfriend and then no friends.
So I think I would pursue both at the same time. I would like, if you said you have work acquaintances, I would ask someone from work who you think is cool, who maybe you don't work directly with every single day, ask them to hang out. Also, if there's like anyone, even if you hang out, think about it in this sense, if you hang out with like the friends, like the girlfriends all together, whatever, and then they bring other friends and you meet people through that kind of way, I think just be open to meeting and like more friends like that. I think that's like, I don't know. I think that's like a good way to like ensure that also you're not, I don't know, that you're not putting all of your eggs in one basket in a way. Cause I think like it's important to have friends in general, like regardless of a relationship, and you don't want your friends to be contingent on your relationship success. Cause that also like, then if you guys have like issues, you might feel like obligated to like stick through it or like you deal with shit that you wouldn't normally stick through just because you're afraid of losing friends.
Right.
But yeah. And then I would say like the way to ask, you said you felt awkward. Like, how do I ask them to like hang out? I think like you just like text and be like, hey, I'm going to go to this. I always think it's better.
Have a plan first.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm going to go to this like workout class. Like, do you want to come? Or like, hey, I'm going to go, or like, have you seen that trailer for this new movie? Like, I really want to go see it. Like, and my boyfriend like won't fucking come. Like, do you want to go? Or anything like that, I think is like a good call. Yeah. And even if you want to do like double date sort of situation and then you guys start talking and then in person, you can just be like, And I think it's also like nice to just be like, hey, do you want to hang? Like there's, I don't know. We have this like, oh, I want to like keep my cool or whatever. And I had this massive friend crush on one of Monts's, oh my God, they're married now. One of Monts's friends' wives, massive friend crush. First of all, she's so pretty. I like show people her photo all the time because I'm like, she's so pretty and cool. And Monts and his friend got drunk and they both were like, oh yeah, Megan has a huge friend crush on her. And he's like, oh my God, she's got a huge friend crush on Megan. And then it broke the ice for us. And it was like, okay. Cause your boyfriend can also be like, hey, like would someone like, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of have that. Doesn't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily like always make you learn how to make friends. But I also didn't ask Monts to do it. He just got wasted and then they did it. And then her and I were like, well, guess we're friends now because we both love each other. But yeah, I think this is also like I don't know. I think it's an exciting position for you to be in too. It's kind of like the same thing with dating. It's like you go on one date and then you can like date other people and feel more confident. So I think if you can like pursue two kinds of friendships at the same time, I think you'll be like, I own this. I'm great at this now. Yeah. So best of luck.
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
Best of luck. Do it. Be friends.
I also love how I judge everybody for moving in too soon with their boyfriend. And I moved in with Monts
But you knew him for a while.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. I just think if I moved in after I've met him for a year, I would probably murder him in his sleep. You know?
I don't know.
Well, because I have my 4 months in thing where I'm like, oh shit, I hate you.
Yeah.
But I guess if you move in at a year, I've already passed the 4 months, so I don't hate you anymore. That makes sense. Okay. Well, on to the next one.
Hi, Megan. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and I kind of have a spooky issue. So recently I found out through accidentally logging into or finding my ex-boyfriend's unlocked Instagram on one of my devices, and I read through his DMs and found out that he, it's been a year since we broke up, but I found out that he recently slept with a girl and then talked about me for an hour after. And, like, we still talk every day, but apparently, like, he stopped talking to this girl who he dated briefly because he has a new girlfriend. And now she's, like, upset because he still talks to me and, like, blocked her. I'm just wondering what I should do, if I should, like, stop talking to him or if I should talk to him about the DMs or not say anything. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Boy, I was hoping I was going to get to draw a diagram for this one, but I feel like we all understand.
Yeah.
You need to stop talking to him.
But my thing is, like, you accidentally logged into his Instagram. I get that part. But then you went into his DMs and read them.
Shit, dude. If your fucking Instagram is
I know
logged
you're in there,
look.
but you can't be, like, mad if it's there. And it's not like you're together anymore.
No, I think it's just weird.
It's weird, but, like...
Yeah.
You looked for information.
Yeah. I'm a level with you. If you break up with someone and you continue to talk to them, like, for a year after, they're going to do weird shit. And it's got, like, you're in a weird position and, like... It's, I don't know. Like, I think it's just when there's a weird situation that you're actively participating in, I don't think
and you're not comfortable with being friends with him.
Yeah, you can't really be upset about the outcome because, like, it's weird.
Yeah,
it is wild.
You seem like you still have feelings for him.
Yeah, and you said he has a new girlfriend, and, like, first of all, it's also just like a really weird weenie move. So they're on DM with this girl, and explicitly they're talking about the fact that they had sex over Instagram DMs,
and then talked about you,
and then talking about you. I just think that, like, I wonder if your mind is going to, like, should I talk to him about it? I wonder if you feel, like, a little bit weird and guilty in the fact that you feel like that his new girlfriend that he's dating should know. Not your responsibility.
She didn't mention that, though.
No, but like, just the weirdness of it. Like, if it was me, I think that would kind of be like, why are you still talking about me? Because the girl is mad because he still talks to you and you're his ex-girlfriend and he won't talk to her and he blocked her because he has a new girlfriend. So I think usually what that in my mind means is the new girlfriend doesn't know about you. New girlfriend only knew about the other girl. I don't think it's like a specific thing. And I think he's keeping you more of a secret and private because I think he also probably, like, still has some, like, residual feelings for you. And I think you
do too.
Have some residual feelings for him. And I think you just need to stop talking to him.
If you're not okay with him moving on, which you're not, then you shouldn't still be talking to him.
No. And if you guys, if you break up, like, break up. And, like, if he's in a new relationship or anything like that, if you're ever, like, if it's not kosher when you're worried, like, well, is someone going to read into it weird? If someone can read into it weird, then they're going to, and that means you're doing something that you're also not entirely okay with. Because, like, you're afraid of someone else's response, which means, and that response is totally valid. So I think, like, you have to be the bigger person here and just, like, don't bring up the DMs because it makes you look crazy, which, like, I understand. I would have done the same thing. But then just stop talking to him and, like, let him do his relationship. And I don't want to say that you're enabling him to, like, if he's potentially not being great in this relationship, but, like, he just needs to, like, he needs to get his shit together, and you don't want to be, like, an accessory or an accomplice to, like, him being a shithead. Right. You know? Because, like, you wouldn't want that in your own relationship later. Like, if you guys were together and this was happening and you were in the girlfriend's position, I just think, like,
just get out.
Yeah. I'm also, like, I'm in the camp of being, like, as much as I mean, I do agree with the whole thing of, like, I take what people say at face value. So if you say something, I'm going to believe you. There's, like, a different level of, like, if I can tell that, like, if you have a new relationship, if I'm, like, friends with the guy and, like, your girlfriend, like, doesn't, like, I'm never going to do anything to make you feel, either of you feel uncomfortable. Also, like, girl to girl, I'm never going to do something like that. Even if I'm like, well, no, he said it's fine. Because deep down, I'm like, first of all, my frontal lobes develop far faster than yours. So, like, I'm not, like, I just think there's a certain level of, like, yeah, people are going to make their own mistakes. But, like, I'm not going to sit idle by knowing that someone's making a mistake. And I'm, like, taking part of it. I can't necessarily stop everything, but like I would remove
yourself from the situation.
Yeah. I think that's a good call. And I also like want to know, I just love the whole like, his like Instagram was logged into one of my devices, which unless you're like really young, you definitely logged onto it, right?
That's what I think.
That's what I would have, because 100%.
Like which device?
iPad, 100%. Never a phone.
But if it's like your iPad and they've been broken up for a while, then you just never get on your iPad.
Yeah, well, who goes on Instagram? That makes perfect sense. Who goes on Instagram on their iPad?
Well, she got on it.
Yeah, because she was like, oh, what's on this iPad? I haven't been on my Instagram. Sure, I'll log on. Let me see what's here. And then it's like, oh shit, I only look at Instagram on my phone because there is no Instagram for iPad version.
Mm-hmm. It gets real big and ugly.
Yeah, it's real big and ugly. So I know I understand that, but I think also that even though you guys are broken up, the same thing still applies. What we say, if you're snooping, you're looking for something. You don't look with not looking for anything. So I think
and
like
that's why I'm like, if she's looking for something, she still has feelings for him.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's definitely it. Get yourself out of it, and then also you'll move on too.
Right.
Neither of you are going to be able to move on at all. Because I also just think of like in that sense of like relationship wise. If you're gonna be super upfront and open and honest in a relationship, you're like, oh yeah, this is like my ex, like we still talk every day. No one's gonna be okay with that. Mm-hmm. And the idea that like the reason his girlfriend's like, okay, she doesn't know. Like if you started dating a new guy and you're like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend and I talk every single day. You'd be like, how about nah, brah? Unless it's no, but I mean, if you read those messages of being like, oh yeah, the context of what you guys are talking about, the
context that does matter.
Yeah. Can I imagine if I talked to guys I used to date every single day? What would we talk about? Truly have no idea. Nothing in common.
I was going to say I do a lot, but it's usually a group message with girlfriend that's in it as well.
Well, you are very good at like, you're not like,
I'm not.
You're thinking for everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yep. And that's how you have. If you want to be friends with your ex, you have to take the responsibility to think for everyone.
Yeah.
And then like when you act upon things or do things or whatever, you're not just taking how you feel into account and how they feel. You're taking how new girl, all of that stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about. I mean, it is about you, but it's not. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just a really good person. I'm not that good of a
I would
person.
never say that, but like if you want to say it, then...
I mean, it's fucking true. Ugh. Well, on that happy positive note, should we go on to the next or break? Okay, guys, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Are we back?
We're back. Back again.
Hi, Megan. I'm 19 and I'm a sophomore in college. I've been dating this boy for about a month now. And like a week ago, I slept over at his house. And in the morning, he said something like, I want you to be my girlfriend, or like, will you be my girlfriend? But his voice is like really groggy. And at the time, I was like, yeah, okay. But then like we both fell asleep again because this was like early in the morning. And he hasn't said anything about it since. And since then, I've learned that he talks in his sleep. And now I'm like questioning whether or not he asked me to be his girlfriend. But I'm like afraid to ask about it because like either way, it just seems so awkward to be like, did you say this or not? And anyways, this weekend, he's going to be meeting a bunch of other people, like some of my friends and some of my family. And I'm just like not sure how I should introduce him as like, this is my boyfriend, or just like, this is my friend, or what. So yeah, that would be great if I could get some advice. Thank you.
Wow. So my best friend Sydney, accidentally, her current boyfriend, she's dated him for a couple of years now. She, the first time she told him she loved him, it was an accident because she also talks in her sleep. And I used to carry on full conversations with her when we were in high school, and I would just like,
my cousin's the same
and
way.
It'd be so funny because like it's just great. And so she accidentally said, I love you. And then he was like, what'd you say? And then she was like, what? And she's like still kind of asleep, but then like starts to wake up and fully panicked and just rolled over and refused to speak to him. But it was cute. And he was like, no, I love you too. And I was like, wow. But this would happen to her. I mean, I wouldn't say anything.
Me either.
I would like, even when it comes to introducing him, I would just introduce him by name.
Bill.
Yeah, like, hey guys, this is Bill. And then also I think when you introduce someone by name to like friends and family, I think it's a little more personal because it's like, oh my God, we've heard so much about you. It's not like you don't need a precursor to be like, hey, this is like of all of the Bills in my life, this is the boy. You know what I mean? Like you want to know like, oh, we've heard so much about you based on like who you are, not just like as a significant other.
Right.
And also, what if like he was having a dream and he wasn't asking you?
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
that's
like
exactly
where my mind
100%.
went. I also just walk around, I've realized, just talking to myself all the time.
All the time.
And the things that I say don't really make sense. It's just words coming out of my mouth.
Stream of consciousness.
Yeah. And so sometimes you just say things and you don't realize what's coming out. And especially if you're asleep and your mind is already working on something else.
Yeah. I also just die that you said yes and then like realized that he was asleep.
Yeah.
How many friends did you like Snapchat and texting me? I would have been like, I have to tell all of my friends right now that this just happened. Because I also think that like if he wants you to be his girlfriend too, like I don't know, like you want him to like remember saying it and like if not that I'm saying that like I'm not here for people like planning out like just you guys are younger though, so that might still be a thing. But I think like I don't know. It should be like a sweet, fun memory that like both of you should have.
Right.
You know?
Right. And so like you said that he's meeting a bunch of your friends and family. Like, why are they coming up? Is it like friends and family weekend? Is it homecoming? Does he have people coming too? Because then if he's introducing you to people, then that can be a cursor because he might say, this is my girlfriend.
And also if you are introducing him, if it is friends and family weekend and you're introducing him to your family and he's not introducing you to his family, I think that's also a good clue to see where your relationship's at. Wow, I just had an epiphany. Remember that guy who broke up with me and we still don't know why we broke up? Friends and family weekend, he invited me to meet his parents and I didn't go.
Oh.
Do you think that's part of it?
Wow. Yes, I really do think that's part of it.
The plot thickens.
It does.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it.
Or maybe we broke up before it. I don't have a memory.
But if he asked you to meet them.
Yeah.
Then that
he either asked me to meet them and then I said no, or he asked me to meet them and then we broke up before I met them.
Got it.
But I think I probably would have said like no, but I don't. Wow. But I would also just say that I think like I don't know. I think a month in is pretty quick, and I would say like spend the first couple like months dating someone, like enjoying dating and having fun. And I think like we kind of like try and rush to like that, like it only gets good once he's your boyfriend, like as if it's this really like rocky, unstable thing. But I think it can be like really fun and really great while you're still just dating. And then by the time that like they're asked like that your boyfriend, girlfriend, like it's because you're done with the dating stage, like you've exhausted it and now you're excited for that like new chapter. And I think like, I don't know, I just think like definitely when I was younger, we rushed through that like a lot more.
Yeah.
And also you don't necessarily, I don't want to say you don't know what you're getting into, but like also it's going to mean a lot more when like, I don't know, you guys know, like you've known each other for a good amount of time. And then it's like, oh wow, this person like really wants to date me. And like, they know all my, like we've been together for a good amount of time and they like know all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be some big thing where like, hey, you told me you wanted to date, unless he just like says he loves you one time during his sleep. Because
Monts used to do it drunk and I never brought it up.
I know.
Because but I think that's like the way to do it, you know? And then finally when I let him say it, it was really sweet. And like, that's like a good, I don't know, like a good memory for both of us versus like him telling me drunk and I can like make fun of him, but it's not like he's like, shit, that was the first, you know what I mean? Like the moment time. But yeah. And figure out what else he says in his sleep. And it's always fun. I always record when he's in his sleep or write it down. I have literally an entire notes app from like all of the shit Sydney used to say in her sleep. It was so funny. And I could just have conversations and she would just keep responding. And I was like, you are so fucking asleep. This is great. It was fun. But yeah. Congratulations on being in college. Sophomore year, made it longer than me.
Didn't you make it to sophomore year?
2 sophomore year. 2 like, and again, units wise, no.
Got it.
Units wise, I did not. I finished the first quarter.
Yeah,
we weren't even on semesters. I was on quarters.
Oh, jeez.
It was even shorter.
Megan.
Hi, Megan. So I'm 19. Basically, I used to work at this one place, and I started dating a guy, and his roommate was my best friend, and she's a girl. So I started dating this guy. It was great for a little while, but then he was just really shitty to me and just not a good situation. Told me he loved me and then basically tried to ghost me while we were already dating. Whatever. So then we broke up. I was pretty emo about it for a while, but then I was getting over it. Everything was fine. Now it's like 3-4 months later, and I went on Facebook, and his roommate, who was my best friend, is dating him now. So they basically changed their relationship status, and she, of course, didn't tell me this. So yeah, I guess her plan was to never talk to me again, which is okay. I don't want to be her friend. That's not what this call is about. What I'm calling about is that now I'm having a bunch of crazy dreams where I run into her on the street, or I run into both of them. And I used to have these dreams just about him. But now it's just about her. And sometimes in the dream we make up. Sometimes she ignores me. Sometimes she punches me in the face and then keeps walking. So I don't know. Obviously there's some unresolved feelings there. I feel like a big problem here is that I never really told either of them how I felt and how much they hurt me. So my question is, should I reach out to her just to be like, hey, that was kind of shitty and that kind of sucked? Or should I just leave it alone? I guess. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. Love your podcast. Bye.
So double confirming, he's now dating his roommate.
Mm-hmm. That was her best friend.
So, okay, I wish this was one of the live ones. I'm assuming that they had a falling out before this, because you said that used to be your best friend and that you think that she never had any intention of telling you.
I think that when the best friend started dating him, that's when they stopped talking. But
I don't know, because she didn't say anything and then I was like, why, you know what I mean? It didn't, to me, it didn't feel like a friendship lost too.
Yeah.
It feels like two former people in your life have gotten together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go on based off of that is what I would assume. I'm really happy she's not your roommate. Definitely thought that's where it was. Yeah. That's what it was at first.
I'm just I just imagine this, one of them just walking in on the other one in the shower and they're like, oh,
I know.
Let's do it. And then they got together.
I think I obviously don't want to put ideas in your head and I don't want to therapize you at all.
There. Yep.
But I think the reason that you feel unresolved about this or whatever is because I think you probably have every right to feel this way, that he might have been sleeping with her and they might have had something prior to you guys. Potentially during you guys, and it does kind of just feel like you maybe walked into something that you didn't know what it was, and then you got blindsided through all of that. Also, him ghosting while you're dating and then dating her, to me, that all really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Point blank, that's a shitty friend on her part. She's not your friend, which I feel like we say every time someone's oh, my friend or ex-friend or whatever.
Not your friend.
Yeah, she wasn't your friend in this situation at all. And then he also just no one's being a mature adult about it. And in those situations, you don't have to be that for everyone. Yeah. You don't have to sit down and be the bigger person and be like, hey, this really hurt me. They know that it hurt you. They know that it sucked. It's a completely douchey, terrible thing to do. And also I always think about it in the sense when someone does something so terrible and I've said this before. I love revenge. I want revenge so much. I want I want to get even, all of that stuff. But what I've found through all of that is I am the only person who cares. I'm the only person who's...
You're the one that's putting in the effort. Nobody else is putting in the effort. So that means that they don't care.
No, and no matter what anyone does at all, it's never going to like get any... I'm not going to like relinquish anything. I'm never going to like be rid of that sort of thing because they don't control that. I do. Like that's something that's on me. And that doesn't mean that I'm not like petty and still like that kind of stuff. But also... there isn't any like cathartic feeling that you think you're going to get through like confrontation because they're not going to say anything great. They're not going to do anything or say anything that's going to be like, and even if they said like, oh, I'm so sorry, like that, it doesn't change what they did. And I think like you just need to be like moving on and be happy that you don't have to deal with either of these two people in your lives anymore. But I mean, I very much understand the dream. That's literally my life is all I have is dreams about like actual real life situations and real life circumstances. But I just, I don't know. I think like trying to get anything out of them is only going to make you more vulnerable and put you out there more and take like the control of how you feel and put it in someone else's hands. And you can't count on that. And it's like, it's not going to help you.
Yeah. It's like you said you wanted to talk to them. If you talk to them, you might not get what you want.
No, it might be worse. It might make you feel worse.
And the dreams might get even stronger because now you've had this face-to-face contact with them.
Yeah. And you're also like, you've been broken up for 3-4 months. That's a good amount of time that like, you obviously shouldn't, I mean, not obviously, like, I think it's totally fair that you don't feel like immediate, like you still have these feelings, but I think like you don't want to backtrack. Also, as somebody who my ex-boyfriend and I, when we broke up and I was like, he asked out another girl to prom and I was like so pissed and I was like, I'm going to talk to him about it. And I just wanted him to apologize. And he was such a dick. And like, I, in that situation thought like, and I did truly like on paper, like he had no reason to be an asshole. He fucked me. Like it was so mean, all of that kind of stuff. And like, it didn't help me at all. It just made me feel worse. But I also then realized that same thing I say about closure is like, I went in there thinking that there was no way he couldn't say what I wanted him to say because it was so obvious to me. And if someone does something shitty, the great, nice thing, that's not obvious to them.
Right.
Like, it's just like, who fucking cares at that point? Yeah.
So I would like sit down and write out everything that I want to say to her and then just burn it.
Yeah. And then take a boxing class.
Yeah. And then I'll get it out your head. Or if you want to send it, my therapist was like, if you have something that you want to say to somebody, but like having an actual like conversation or dialogue with them isn't going to get you anything. She's like, just sit down and send them an email, then block their email address. So then you don't have to worry about if they're going to respond or not.
Yeah.
Because then you get it out and they have it and then it's just out there. If they want to contact you, they have other ways to contact you.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like when you're hurt and like someone's fucked you over and done something, I think in theory, like something that they say can be super great, but all that it's done is shown that their true character and shown that like you're better than that. And so anything they can say, like that's beneath you. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't need that shit at all.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say like, I would throw yourself into something physical. I think that that for me helps my dreams. Like that's like if I work out more and if I not even just like Pilates workout, but if I do like high intensity, like hardcore and I get out that like primal aggression, I don't have those kinds of like as like stress, anxiety, like heightened kind of dreams anymore because like I can have a punching bag and I know you said in your dreams she was punching you, but like I can punching bag and I can just picture all of that stuff and just get all of that stuff kind of out so that my subconscious it's not dwelling on it because it's already been like brought to the surface and dealt with in like a constructive sort of way. But I'd lean on your other friends and like all that stuff. And also like
or talk to them about it too.
Yeah. And they know it's not about like winning a breakup and this is definitely like a very like childish like response to it too. I also think there's some I think there's an amazing amount of strength in not showing how much someone has hurt you and not giving someone ammo to hurt you more and then opening up to your friends about how much someone hurt people that you trust, but putting that like vulnerable, hey, you really hurt me, and like just sharing all of that and opening it up to someone, I think it's just like you're just giving them ammo to like go at you. And I don't think that your vulnerability and like, I don't know, those like intricate parts of like your feelings and stuff should be in the hands of people who clearly didn't like respect that in the first place.
They don't respect you at all.
Yeah. So I just say that like I don't want to say it doesn't make a good look for you, but I just don't think that like, yeah, they don't deserve to know how all of that stuff made you feel, because they knew what it was going to make you feel like going into it. Then they still did it anyway. Yeah, and don't give them the satisfaction of being like, yeah, it really did hurt me. Because
they knew it was going to hurt you, or else they would have talked to you about it before.
Yeah.
Or if they knew it was going to hurt you, if they respected how you felt, then they would have talked about it with you before.
And then, yeah, if anything, if you tell them that it hurt you now, like they already knew that, and like they're shit people, and like they're not going to care at all. And that's such a sucky feeling when you open up to someone and it's just like so clear that it's like, well, sorry that you're like sad and you feel bad, but like I'm in this happy relationship.
Do what we want to do.
Yeah, it just I don't think it's not going to feel good. Stay strong. Yeah. You want to send the letter, you can send it to
don't blame at meghanpodcast.
Send it to our email. Send us the whole letter, and that'll be. And then I'll respond as him and her, and I'll give you the apology you want.
Yeah.
How about that? That's a good time. That's a good one. That. Okay. You just have to remind me to check the email.
I mean, it wouldn't be me.
Will you remind me to check the email?
You can just forward it to her.
Shoot me a text. Yeah, forward it to me. Looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, guys. It is time for Don't Blame Them. This is where listeners will call in with your own experience on previous episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. I'm calling in with some of my own advice for a caller on the November M&M episode. There was a question saying she's sick of being friend zoned and she feels that her plus size has something to do with it. I just wanted to call because I think that you guys gave good advice. But being a plus size woman myself, I can totally relate. I've been in only 3 relationships ever, and I am almost 32. And I want you to know that it is hard. You are plus size, and you think that everyone is just looking for a skinny chick, which some are, some aren't. But I want you to know that there are guys out there who are going to love you for your body, just the way it is, for your personality the way it is. It's just it's just a matter of getting there. But I don't want you to give up hope, because right around when I tried to give up hope is when I met my current boyfriend, who loves me for my body and for my mind and doesn't want me to be skinny. So there are guys out there. I don't want you to think that this is something bad. You should embrace yourself, your plus size self, and you sound like a great person. I'm sure there's someone out there for you. You just got to keep looking and follow their advice that they gave you on how to find better matches. But I wanted to speak to the plus size piece. All right, thank you guys. Love the podcast.
Yay! I think that's great.
Me too.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's also obviously doesn't mean I can't I'm not going to speak on behalf of like any community. I can only speak on like who I am and like who I am. But I also think that like she's so right in the sense of the idea that everyone has this specific body type that they want. That's mainstream media 100%. I've never there are men, women who are into every certain body type under the sun, and not even like, oh, I love you in spite of something. No, that's like your type.
That's the preference.
Like there are some guys who are like, I'm an ass guy. I'm not going to date a girl with a flat ass, and I'd be like, cool, bye, see ya.
And I'll say hi.
there it slides right in. So I think like obviously it's different on like plus size because like that. I mean, yeah, you're marginalized in every sense of media of being like not represented at all. But I think like it sucks when the media representation is not represented. It doesn't represent how everyone feels or how like in general. But it's like it's limiting in that way. But I think Yeah, I think also the more you put yourself out there, you realize that kind of stuff that you're like, oh, wow, this is what everyone says everyone's into, but it's not what everyone's into, you know, at all. Like low-rise jeans. When it was like low-rise jeans, we're all into them. I was like, you know what? I'm not.
Most people weren't.
No,
it was just the people making us think
they made us think that that's what we wanted.
It was hot to have our thong hanging out.
That rhinestone. I did not have a rhinestone thong.
I mean, you would have been like
7. No,
I was going to say you'd be like a baby.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you want to be on an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. If you are just listening to this podcast, check us out on YouTube. Yeah. And for everyone watching on YouTube who comments on every single episode, are you on Spotify? We are on Spotify. You can also just go to don'tblameme.show. It literally has every place
single
listed.
Link. Yeah. Every link.
Every single one. Yeah. I urge you guys to just like open the description of videos or of podcasts. Yeah. You'll see it. It's easy.
It's very easy.
It's really
also
not
join
that
our
hard.
Facebook.
Join our Facebook. Come join the, I almost said cult. Come join the club.
No, it's not a cult.
It's a fun time. It's a great time. We would love to see you there. Join the party.
Yeah.
Did that sound like a pitch for a cult?
It did.
How do you make it sound not, because like that's the whole point of cults is the pitch. It's like, it is so like broad.
Yeah. I don't know. Come join the community. Do they ever say the
community is such a cult word?
I don't know.
Commune.
Then. We're not
the compound.
We're not exalting one individual person.
What's exalting mean?
Like raising them to a higher standard.
We're not raising me to a higher standard than
no, I'm not. And
they won't either.
Yeah.
It's fine. Cool. Bye. Oh, follow us on Instagram too. Ew. Please go watch the whole video just to see how fucking weird you're being. Ew. Stop. I can hear your kissing mouth. Stop it. Ew. 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 Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me. Executive produced by Melisa Monts. Camera operator Amanda Lechner. And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso, part of the HerPod Network.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore, There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.